how it's going versus how it started. Before they got Ultimate Editions, it took a long time for Jimmy and Jay Uso to get Elites, and these are re-releases and updates to their original first Elites. And we're going to unbox them, and we're going to take a look at them. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So before we had Yeet and No Yeet, before Jay was a world heavyweight champion, they were the Usos, the Samoan brothers dressed in colorful gear, face paint, doing their Samoan tribal dance at the beginning of their entrance. And get it right, they were very, very much so accepted by the WWE Universe. They really appealed to kids, and they made for great action figures. However, it took quite some time for them to get Elites. And these are re-releases, updates of their very first Elites. Now, I've told this story before. I had the original Elites, loved them, had a mint in box, but there was such a lull in them getting more Elites as they started to climb up the roster and get a little bit more notoriety and to be taken a little bit more seriously, that those Elites started to just fetch a hefty price tag, and it got too hefty that I just had to let them go because I got a great offer. I regretted it, but it's nice to know that flash forward to 2025, I'm able to get them again, albeit with better articulation, better paint apps, and just overall better and more accurate. And we'll talk about why we say that. But these are the greatest hits. Jimmy and Jay Uso, twin brothers, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, continued their family legacy of dominance from the moment they arrived in the WWE Tag Team division. Raw Tag Team Champion, SmackDown Tag Team Champion, and WWE Tag Team Champion. Now, Jay, it says San Francisco, California, 6 feet 2 inches, 242 to Flying Oos. And then for Jimmy, it says San Francisco, California, 6'3", 251. So Jimmy's an inch taller and about 9 pounds heavier. I did not know that. But I'm excited for this. I always loved Uso figures because pretty much every release when they were in this incarnation of their career would have increasingly more tattoos because they were constantly getting them. So each release was so different. But I'm excited about this. We're going to start off with Jay, Mr. Yeet. On the back, it has the rest of the set. I'm talking Hulk Hogan, Seth Rollins, Batista, Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, and of course Ron Simmons, who we've already unboxed on the channel. I'm excited to take these things out and pose them up in our display. Nice little shot of Jay right there. And on the back, we have another shot of him, which is pretty cool. All right, we're going to take this out. Comes with one set of interchangeable hands, C-grips. Don't really need C-grips, in my opinion, unless they're holding something. So we're really here for those fisticuffs. Whoops. Pulled his head clean off. Pulled his head clean off. And we'll put it on in a second because we're going to take that shirt off. I don't think that's how we're going to display it, to be honest with you. We're going to put his head back on. Guys, when I say that head came off so easy, it's a little worrisome how easy it came off. But one thing I'll note, I do think that the green on the shorts is much more vibrant. I do think that the deco on the side of the shorts is better as well. And you'll notice that the flag on the back is inverted. I believe it had pink letters instead of green. I know the flag's inverted. I forget exactly how, but it is. You can see the socks piping out of the boots, and then the same thing on the boots as they're kind of like almost taped up, which is pretty cool. You got the Usos right there on the side. All the tattoos are there on both sides, even on the chest. Smiling head sculpt with the face paint looks very, very good. I dig it. We have those skinny torsos that I think are pretty fitting for the Usos here. Always like this, how like the design of them, it's like Jay reaching back, showing off the spray paint can, and Jimmy's down there, crouched down, painting the mural that says Usos. So, pretty cool. If he had yeet hands, I'd probably do it anyway just because it's funny. And he does have this Samoan ball chain around his neck that is like hard to move. These damn anal beads that he has around his neck. But we're gonna put these up like that and have him spin in there. Here we have the Uso shirt, which I don't like these rubber goods shirts. If you listen to the Case Fresh podcast, then you probably remember me saying I don't understand why in 2025 we're going to be getting rubber goods shirts when we should be getting cloth goods. That would have been the ultimate upgrade for these. But since I didn't have them and I sold off my original set, I needed these. If I had my original set, I might have passed solely off of them not upgrading the shirt. But it's the exact same as the original, has the faces of them on the front, and on the back it says, we say oos, you say oh. This is pre-day one-ish. And now we're going to open up Jimmy here, who has a shot of himself right there on the back, and then doing their tribal dance right in the beginning of their entrance. There he is. Slicing that seal. Popping the top and sliding my man Jimmy out. And it's funny because on the Case Fresh podcast, myself and my co-host, Fig Vault, rest in peace to the Case Fresh podcast, but we discussed on there how we always thought Jimmy was going to be the breakout star. We thought Jimmy was going to be the Shawn Michaels of the Usos. And boy, were we ever so wrong. But again, this head comes off so easy. Guys, I'm barely touching it and the head just pops right off. I've never had a Mattel head fall off that easy. All right. But again, same body, pretty much the exact same figure. We got a wonky foot here, which is increasingly happening with these Vietnamese WWE figures anymore. Going to put the chain on, the anal beads. We're going to put the head on to hold it in place. But yeah, man, this thing, not a fan of this head. I like how it looks, but I don't like how it stays on. It does not stay on very well. So we're going to take Jay off for a second. And here's Jimmy. He's got the Fatu on the arm, which is now filled in. All that tribal print up and down the arms. Face paint, again, the updated flag hanging out the back, and that tongue. One thing I'll say, the true effects on these figures is incredible. The tongue being out on this is so much better than the original. And this is coming from somebody who for years said that I prefer the original way that they do the heads. This is just bringing it to the next level. So I'm going to take this C-grip off. We're going to put, boom, fist in there. Very, very well done. The only thing I'm noticing on them is that with these chains, their hair is kind of just like popping up, and I don't like that. I wish that it would just kind of stay down, like down since day one-ish. But overall, I would say these are pretty solid figures. I definitely suggest picking them up. Had such a hard time finding Jay. Jimmy was like everywhere, which makes sense considering Jay was the World Heavyweight Champion. And in my area, wrestling figures are very tough to find. You'll often find empty pegs because I live right outside of Philadelphia, where it is a big wrestling town and a lot of wrestling collectors. So I love these. They're 100% going on display. I'm not sure I'm going to display them with these shirts. And by not sure, I mean I'm not displaying them with these shirts because I hate rubber good shirts, as I'm hoping you guys do too. Even has the print on it right there, 2013. Yikes. Outdated. Give us some cloth good shirts. So hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Fig Heel. Twitter is at The Fig Heel. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia and join Whatnot at whatheel.com. And you'll get $15 off your first purchase. See you on the next one, guys. Peace. Yeet. No yeet. Down since day one-ish. Are you a wrestling figure collector? of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need Fig Heel's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 5,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With shots by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Premium, full-color, and value black and white editions available now on Amazon.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeel. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeel. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHealed.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.